Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. The time is now 6:01 p.m. We are going to get started with our regular scheduled board meeting for tonight. Madam Secretary, will you ready roll call, please? Trustee Bowman? Trustee Bowie? Trustee Boyd? President Hunt? Present. Trustee Miller? Present.
Present.
On a nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a motion to amend the regular board meeting agenda to add agenda item under information from the superintendent administration, under superintendent's report, attendance update presentation?
Support.
It's been moved by Mr. Bowman and supported by Treasurer Terry to amend the regular board meeting agenda to include for discussion of the superintendent's report, attendance update presentation. Questions? Roll call. Trustee Gilbert? Trustee George?
Yes.
President Mooney? Yes. Trustee Miller?
Yes.
President Terry?
Yes.
Yes. That passes 7. Thank you. Can I get a motion to accept the amendment?
Support.
It's been moved by Trustee Gross, supported by Mr. Bowman to approve the amended agenda. Any questions? Roll call. Trustee Hill? Trustee Gross?
Yes.
President Knight? Yes. Trustee Miller?
Yes.
President Hill?
Yes.
Trustee Gross? Thank you. Moving now to awards of recognition. Dr. Liberal.
Good evening, President Hannah, trustees, members of our community, Pontiac School District staff, our parents and students that are here today. We are so very excited as we continue to recognize and extend a huge congratulations to our Pontiac Middle School students who have demonstrated proficiency or advanced on Michigan State test of proficiency. We are very excited, and I have Dr. Robinson who will assist me with the awards presentation. So thank you so much. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Peyton Carter in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficient in ELA on the 24-25 M-STEP state testing assessment. Congratulations. We are so proud of you, Peyton. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Julianne Kung in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of advanced in math and proficient in ELA in the 24-25 M-STEP state testing assessment. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Kevin Gator in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficient in math and ELA, the 24-25 M-STEP state testing assessment. Congratulations, Kevin. Certificate of distinction proudly presented to Emily Morrison in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficient in math and ELA in the 24-25 M-STEP state testing assessment. Congratulations. Your certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Skylar Peterson in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficient in ELA on the 24-25 M-State state testing assessment. Congratulations. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Eugene Wall in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficient in ELA on the 24-25 M-Step state testing. Congratulations. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Landon Williams in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficient in the ELA on the 24-25 M-Step state testing assessment. Congratulations. The certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Noah Gordon in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficient in ELA on the 24-25 state testing assessment. Congratulations. The certificate of distinction, Isabella Cepedez Johnson, in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of advanced in ELA on 24-25 state testing assessment. Congratulations, Isabella. The certificate of distinction proudly presented to Santiago Busto in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficient in math on the 24-25 state testing assessment. Congratulations. This certificate of distinction is presented to Nelson Gonzalez Montanez in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficient in math on the 24-25 mixed state testing assessment. Congratulations. The certificate of distinction proudly presented to Leah Lopez Medina in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficient in ELA on 24-25 in-step state testing assessment. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Brittany Navarro Rodriguez in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficiency on the 24-25 in-step state testing assessment. Congratulations, we are proud of you. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Victoria Mock in recognition of obtaining a level of proficiency in ELA on the 24-25 in-step state testing assessment. Congratulations, we are proud of you. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Ariel M. Abrams Gonzalez in recognition of obtaining a level of proficiency in ELA on the 24-25 in-step state testing assessment. Congratulations, we are proud of you. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Damaris Alvarado Garcia in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficiency in ELA on the 24-25 in-step state testing assessment. We are proud of you. Congratulations. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Diego Alvaro Martinez in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficiency in ELA on the 24-25 in-step state testing assessment. Congratulations. We are proud of you. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Tyler James in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficiency on the 24-25 in-state testing assessment. Congratulations, we are proud of you. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Kalia Dukes in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficiency in math on the 24-25 in-step state testing assessment. Congratulations, we are proud of you. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Elisa Haynes in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficiency in math on the 24-25 in-step state testing assessment. Congratulations, we are proud of you. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Mariana Johnson in recognition of your achievement of obtaining a level of proficiency in ELA on the 24-25 in-state testing assessment. Congratulations, we are proud of you. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Diane Powell, in recognition of achievement of attaining a level of proficiency in ELA of the 24-25 in-step state testing assessment. Congratulations, we are proud of you. Our parents and families of the students, please stand and let's recognize you all. Great work. We appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Robinson. I would also like to recognize one of our staff members. On behalf of the Michigan School business officials, it is my pleasure to inform you that Marvin Phillips has met the requirements for certification under the MSBO Voluntary Certification Program and has earned the School Payroll Specialist Certification. This award reflects a high degree of academic and professional preparation established by the MSBO Board of Directors through our Professional Development Committee. Mr. Phillips' certification will be valid through 11/1/25 through 10/31/2030. During this 5-year period, he will maintain active MSBO membership and earn 45 professional development hours in order to maintain and renew his certification. I hope that you will join us in celebrating Mr. Phillips' accomplishments. And this certificate in your absence, Marvin, you recognize the leadership, the dedication of what it takes to continue to go to school as a leader in these positions and continue to be a lifelong learner. So I will accept this award on Marvin Phillips' behalf. Thank you so much.
Any comments?
The students who got proficiency, thank you for putting in the time, putting in the effort to do your best. It doesn't go unnoticed, that's why you're here. And we are the reason why you are here. So thank you, the students and families.
Yes, trustee Brooks.
Thank you. For the parents side of the students, raise your hand. Thank you for your hard work and dedication and the trust you have. You have the kids here with us in this district. We appreciate you. We want you to know that. And my hope is that everything you're doing spreads to the entire district. So this room will be filled with kids and these great achievements that they've been doing, what they've done, here they are. And I applaud all the kids. Where my students at? Raise your hand. What school district? Where you from? Say it again. You're not proud. Pontiac students. Say it loud. Where you from? That's what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Certainly, I would be remiss if I did not recognize our students. So I say, congratulations, keep up the work, the good work, and always strive to improve yourself. To the parents, applaud you in getting your kids to school and helping them at home, I'm sure. Keep up the good work as well. And we look forward to seeing those same test scores increase as the year progresses.
I just want to say congratulations to all of the students out there. The ones who are not here as well, congratulations if you're watching live. But congratulations also to all of our parents. The sacrifices that you have to make in order to get them here on time and make sure they're paying attention and also making sure they're learning outside of the school district. And also want to say congratulations to all of our staff and teachers as well that have helped prepare them for these tests. Make sure they are striving to do the best. Thank you to everyone. Thank you.
Not going to repeat everything my trustees have said, but students, you are why we're here. So we are proud of you. Thank you for staying focused and committed, and most importantly, parents, thank you for encouraging your students and pushing them forward. So we appreciate your hard work and look forward to you being great examples for your peers throughout the rest of the school year. So congratulations to you. All right, moving down the agenda, recognition of your students, parents, if you want to leave at this time, you're more than welcome. You don't have to stay. But we welcome you to stay for the rest of our board meeting, but you know, that's just this part. All right, moving down the agenda for evening again, trustees, do we have any other elected officials, any audience? I don't see any. Call board member, Beltran is here. Anyone? All right, can I get a motion for the approval of the consent agenda?
So move.
It's been moved by trustee Gross, supported by Lee Palmer, for the approval of the consent agenda. Any questions? Roll call. Trustee Gross?
Yes.
Yes. Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Trustee Wood? Yes. That passes. Thank you. Information from the superintendent administration.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Hannah. At this time, on behalf of our Director of Student Services, Tanya Dixon, as well as Sergeant James, come to us and provide a report as it relates to our attendance policies and procedures. And I would also like to read a statement that we shared last week. The school district of the city of Pontiac has released the following statement. On the afternoon of November 12, 2025, the school district of the city of Pontiac was made aware by the Oakland County Sheriff's Office of a case involving alleged abuse and neglect of one of our families. This is an unfortunate and heartbreaking situation, and the district is working closely with the Oakland County Sheriff's Department to provide any needed support and assistance. Due to the sensitive nature of the case and the ongoing criminal investigation, the district is unable to share additional information at this time. Our thoughts and prayers are with the children and all those impacted by this tragic situation.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is well. Let's hear from the board meeting today. I want to start by sharing the good news of our auditor's attendance percentage. So that's just a moment that's there. So this is our auditor's attendance percentage. Every year, the auditor looks at this to see when we fall below 75%. When you're looking at this, have yourself look at teachers, families, principals, everyone, because we've only fallen below 75% one time for this entire year. And the one time when we did fall below 75%, it was because we had a district-wide half day. So we have to fight harder to get our students to school when there's a half day. But that was just one time, and we are very pleased to see that. The next thing that I want to show you guys are the chronic absences for the 24-25 school year. I did want to put everyone's business out there, but those are districts A, Michigan, that's the Michigan education, well, everyone across the state of Michigan. W, Pontiac school districts, and D, also a school district as well. So you'll see that our estimated chronic absences for the 24-25 school year was 45%. As of now, I'm believing that that number will drop drastically because we've done a good job going through our withdrawals and keeping up with the students that have been absent. That was last year, we're looking forward to this year. Challenges that our students face, that's a list of them there. I highlighted the ones that are the main focus of the Pontiac School District: lack of engagement, transportation, not just the busing system, and misconceptions about attendance. Attendance and student well-being, and let's talk about mandated reporting. And Sergeant James is going to step up and talk about that now.
Good evening. So one of the things that we want to continue to talk about, train about, be about, school district. And I know there's a lot of stigma around reporting things to CPS. But every staff member within the school district, even custodial staff, they're mandated reporters. So we're going to try to pivot. We actually have a professional development next week with staff regarding mandated reporting. A lot of times what we have is, it's not going to be always clear cut when they get kids that come to school. And, their behavior outbursts could be a direct result for something that's going on at home. And the stigma around CPS always being moving children is not true. Their number one goal and their mission statement is to keep families together in a safe environment. We've done things partnering with CPS as far as using the kids that come to school that don't have that group. Clothing or tools to wash and dry their clothes, buy some things, wash it and dry it, things of that nature. Just do that partnership with CPS. One of the key things that I've talked with Dr. Leverett about is implementing actual physical policy on attendance processes. What do we do as it relates to attendance? The law says one thing, right? The law gives us so many days we have to do this type of reporting, so many days we have to escalate into truancy. But as a district, we can have more of a stringent policy as it relates to attendance. That is the way I think that from this day forward, we should pivot.
Thank you, Sergeant Chase. I would like to know what are the current processes and procedures that have been implemented after February of 2025 that the district currently follows as it relates to excessive absenteeism.
That would be me. So in folks, to your package, once again, is the attendance policy. I'm not sure if you have it or not, but I'm just making sure that everyone had a copy of that. So since February 2025, we have implemented a new process with the help of Sergeant James as a
to our withdrawals. We have 3 different withdrawals that we do now within our district. Fast forwarding to what is going on now, or can't really talk about it, but we're still into that process. I am the person that touches every single withdrawal from the district. With the loss of our attendance agents, we had to ramp things up as it relates to who is involved with getting these students back to school. So now it's more of a hands-on with the secretaries, the BIS in our schools, the social workers, the principals, everyone now is involved in getting those students to school and keeping them in school. So I'm not sure if I answered your question or not.
You did, and since you're still at the microphone, I appreciate your answer. The previous slide, specifically number 8, it says misconceptions about attendance.
Right.
Could you please provide some clarity and examples of what misconceptions about attendance would include?
Sure. So being chronically absent from school, that's more than 10%. So students that are missed 1 day a month, that is 10 absences, which is 10% of school. And so the misconception of families is 5 days of school a week. If I miss 1, that's not bad. 2 out of 2 weeks, if we miss a day and a half out of school, that's not affecting anything at all. But in essence, it really is affecting because they're missing out on instruction. So the misconception of feeling that missing 1 or 2 days a month or a week is not a bad thing. And it equals 18 days once you're absent more than once a week. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
I just want to know, thank you for the explanation. How does that affect our funding when students have excessive absenteeism as it relates to the monetary benefits that we receive federally or locally?
Okay, so the good thing is you just saw that we're down 1 day, and that 1 day could be waived. So as long as we stay above 75%, for the school year, we're fine. We could waive 6 days of weather, and 3 days we could ask for forgiveness for. But if we keep up the way that we are now, we're moving in the right direction and we're just fine. But we still need to be concerned about those students that are chronically absent, and that's why I'm asking everyone to have a hands-on approach to that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Has there been any, well, maybe I should direct this to superintendent. Has there been any further discussion regarding the rehiring of attendance agents so we can rectify the situation?
Yes, there has, Trustee Dooley, and we are going to be revisiting that now that we're through the financial audit and the budget, including a number of other positions, to see if that is something that is feasible for us. So yes.
Any other, are you done, Trustee Dooley? Okay. Trustee Gross?
Thank you. I was looking over the information that you sent us, that was sent today, and it talks about the processes to go to talk about what Trustee Miller was discussing, the process on what we do after so many days. And that's something that I've been talking about for the last 3.5 years because of the position I'm in as an attendance liaison. And it talks about after 5 school days missed, what the protocol is, after 10 days, and then after 20 days. That's in the information that was sent to us. But one of the things I did not see, and I just wanted to add to this, is that we have a relationship with Oakland schools. And there is a school truancy liaison that works with the middle school here, and that after 10 days, they're called. So that's also another resource that we can use to assist when kids are missing up to 10 days. But my concern at the time was, well, what do we do before those 10 days? And then after 25 days, Oakland School provides a attendance officer that works with the school,
Yes,
and you
Ms.
know who
Long.
that is. Ms. Long, Tracy Long, yes. So those are other resources that we have for attendance. And I didn't see those, well, I did see Oakland Schools when it comes to 20 days. But up to 10 days, we have to do a preventive measurement and also work closely with our youth assistants, everything that's preventive before we even reach the level of taking kids to court.
Right.
And that process is somewhat going to change soon. But it's extremely important that we utilize all of the resources that we have for attendance. And this is extremely important to me, and I know as well to this board, but because what I've done in the past as a probation officer and now what I'm doing as a liaison with Oakland Schools, this is extremely important. And to also say, attendance is nationwide. And we've discussed this at our various conferences. And it's also a concern when we talk about, unexcused absences compared to excused. And I'm definitely aware that when a child is ill, we don't want them in school, how it affects them as well as other students. However, there's also a concern, an illness out there called trauma. Over 85% of our kids are suffering with in-home, out-of-home trauma. So we don't know what's happening with our kids when they come into our school district, what they're dealing with prior to coming to school. It has been some questions that I raised about possibly having a professional such as a psychiatrist or psychologist on our dais to be able to determine and decide or even evaluate to see where our children are and what's affecting them, and to even evaluate to determine whether or not medication is needed, to give the parents some other assistance and resources, because times have changed for our children. Things are different now, extremely different. That's how it's so important with attendance. And we see that.
Very important.
And our hope is to get this thing aligned in order before it reaches the newspaper.
I totally agree.
Thank
And when
you.
you saw me glance around, I was looking for Dr. Robinson. She stepped out, but she can confirm. Do you know if Lisa's been over yet?
Yes.
Okay, so we do have the attendance liaison going over to the middle school to meet with those students.
Sure.
And yeah,
yes.
she's there. She's
Good.
there.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
Thank you.
And it
Trust-
was something else.
I'm
Thank you,
sorry.
Madam Chair.
I think Trustee Dooley had another question.
Okay.
You mentioned attendance liaison. At present, who is the identified person of record that's responsible for collecting, compiling, and filing the data with the state?
The schools. So the
Who's that
principals, the
person?
secretaries. We give it to Tracy Long. She's the attendance officer from Oakland Schools.
So who compiles it for Pontiac prior to it
Right.
getting transmitted to Tracy at the Oakland schools?
Each school. So each school should have put together like an attendance team and put one person in charge of that.
So my question would be, do you have the names of those persons that have been identified? Because you have a presentation. Who helped compile this data?
I have
is
a
my
Google
question.
Doc that I could share with you about the team. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll get that to you. Okay. And I totally was
VP
going to
I'm
say
sorry,
something.
VP Bowman had a question.
Do you all still have more to go in this presentation?
Yes.
Oh,
Kind
okay,
of.
I'll hold off because maybe my question will get answered.
Okay, we'll
Thank
see. Hopefully. If not,
Okay.
I'm right here. Okay, anyone else? And I can't remember, it was something else I was going to say, but that's okay. We could go to the next slide. I'm at that age where I need to jot down stuff or I forget. I'm not older than you, though. That's gross. Great. Anyway. Okay, so through partnerships and collaboration, we have family engagement, and I'm glad to say that we'll be working with Ms. Jeter on family engagements, and I believe Diane confirmed that there's money so we could use as it relates to attendance with the family engagements. We have student connections, which means that all school staff, including bus drivers, to strengthen the response of getting our students to school. And what's not on there, what I mean to add is like community. We need that old-fashioned community to be involved in getting our students to school as well. Walking kids to school, noticing kids are at home, knocking on the doors, the kind of community that we had when we were growing up too, that's totally just disappeared over the years. I have my reasons why I think that happened, but we need to get that back. And then like a call to action, continue prioritizing attendance as district-wide responsibility. That should not just rest on the teacher or the secretaries, it should rest on everyone's shoulder. And support consistent communication and family engagement strategies, and recognize attendance as a barometer of student wellness. And that relates back to when are we calling CPS or being a mandated reporter as it relates to someone being absent from school. Okay. So, and then I just wanted to share something with you guys too. Ms. Wright, can you go to the sporadic attendance? Because I think it's important for us to realize or know exactly what sporadic attendance is, because that was mentioned. It's been mentioned a few times. So while we're pulling that up, I'm going to put you all to the test to like look at it. And this was not part of your notes, but this is just something that I put together, like the teacher and me, like maybe if we look at this, we could kind of understand it together. But as Ms. Wright is pulling up, I want you to think of sporadic attendance as someone, you're looking at them, you're trying to figure out, can they catch the beat? Like, can you dance? You may be able to dance, but can you catch the beat? So that's what sporadic attendance is. You look at it, but you cannot find a pattern in that student's attendance. So therefore, it's kind of hard for us to say where the student is absent or why the student is absent, because we could look at it if it's regular. If they're absent every Wednesday, a teacher may notice that, but they may be absent on a Monday. And then the next week on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, then the next week they just come. But those absences still add up. And that's what makes it sporadic, because we can't quite put our hands on what is going on. So here is sporadic attendance, and let's take a look. So what do you see when you look at the elementary examples? Okay. You see it all the time, Trustee Gross. Yes, you do. So that P is present first day. That's the very first time that they sat down in class. E means that it's excused. A is unexcused. S is suspended. Where you see a W, that means that they left early that day without an excuse. If you see an R, they left early that day with an excuse. But you'll see how sporadic this attendance is. Dots are, yep, they're present. P means they're present first day. This will not draw the attention of a teacher. It may not draw the attention of like an attendance agent or trustee Gross or someone in that position. It may not even draw the attention of Sergeant James if he's looking at it, because we're like, okay, this is good. This kid is coming to school. Okay, so this is elementary. So now I'm going to move over to secondary. This is an example of sporadic attendance of a secondary student. You see they have 6 periods. And once again, you're looking at it, you see the very first student, they have medical, but then they have an X for excused, then they have a field trip. But throughout there, the very first student, you see absences on a Wednesday, then on a Thursday, then on a Wednesday again. That's sporadic because we can't quite catch the beat of when this student is out. So I think it's important for everyone to understand that, including the people that do the reporting. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I have a personal question and request for some clarity.
Okay.
My student at the high school is and has been enrolled in OTEC since the beginning of the school year. And since the beginning of the school year, he has an abundance of absences in classes where it is assumed that he should be present, but he is actually attending OTEC. So that would be a consistent, it wouldn't be sporadic, it would be consistent examples of absenteeisms. I have sent emails, I've sent requests to say, hey, please remove these absences because here's his schedule. He is enrolled in OTEC and nothing has been modified on his schedule. But as a parent, I have not been notified as of date of his excessive absenteeism and consistent absenteeism. So I guess my question would be, how do we distinguish when it's excessive and when it's consistent? And I know in my instance, it's very consistent, even though he is there. And at what point are parents or any other entity notified to say, hey, your kid is absent? Because I know I haven't received any notification, even though I've sent several emails to say, please remove this. He is present in school. He's at OTEC. But those are consistent absences.
Yeah, so that would definitely be a school by school, case by case situation. So Trustee Miller, I will encourage you to send it to me and I could straighten out his schedule to see what needs to be done. But that is a conversation, but you said you've already reached out. That is something that needs to be like rectified immediately because you don't want that on his report card.
And that was my concern. You know, it's one thing if my student is absent, but if it's something else if he's unjustifiably marked absent. And I have been sending emails since September because I'll text my son and be mean to him and say, why are you absent? He's like, Mom, forget I'm at my OTEC. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Let me send another email. Let me send another email. And I feel like I'm sending these emails at this point weekly. At one point, it was almost daily and say, my son has not been absent, but this has been consistent since September. And now we're in the middle towards the end of November.
Okay, let's talk about that offline. We'll get that straightened out. You had 2 questions. Was that it? Yeah. Okay.
Ms. Dixon, can you share with me the team scheduling of check-in points, their calendar that they check in regularly?
Yep, I'll get that tomorrow at the principals meeting and I'll share it with you. Yep, that's one of the topics for tomorrow. But I'm sure they meet once a week. Are you going to pop in and say hi? No answer. Okay. Anyone?
Any
One
other
more.
question?
Yeah, one last thing too.
wait.
It's all, I'm talking about the sporadic. If you also look at it, it's important to parents. You may have a student that has absences in 3 classes, missed 2, and then absent, meaning they're skipping. So it's important for parents to understand that because sometimes it's not all full days with A's.
Correct.
Some days is half A's and then the rest are dots that they're there. So it's important that parents take a look at this chart and it shows a kid may attend first hour, but miss second, third, and fourth, but it's back in school 5th, 6th hour. So it's important to look at that chart in that respect as well.
And all the parents have access to Parent Portal, and this is in Parent Portal. So we encourage the parents to please log in and look at that all the time, every single day. Even if you have a 12th grader, do that. And I believe Sergeant James has something.
So I just wanted to close with, I'm very good at reading the room. And I think what we want to hear is that the baseline of what we're supposed to do
In 2025, we have to do more. So that's why that policy implementation is going to be crucial into moving the needle a little bit higher as far as tracking attendance. The big thing is there's laws for everything. So there's laws that govern my job, there's laws that govern everyone's jobs up here, but that is what the state is telling us to do at a bare minimum. So the 10-day, the 15-day, the 21-day, but as a district, we can come up with a policy to make it a little bit more stricter than state law so that we're always ahead of the curve as it relates to tracking attendance. So I think that that's important to note moving forward. In 2025, these attendance laws have been on the books for years. It is time, and as a district, we can maybe set the tone for the rest of the state that this is how attendance is going to be, but we got to put in the work to do that. And that's what we're going to try to pivot and do.
Yes. Thank you. VP Bowman had a question.
Okay, so have we ever considered like a safe line? I know my children used to go in West Bloomfield to school. So whether they were absent, whether I had a reason or not, if they were absent, I had to call, list the school, list, a certain level of things. And if you don't call, they're calling you that day. So maybe we can consider implementing something along that line, safe line, whether it's policy related, but if we didn't call them, they were calling us and they were on top of it daily. And then also what our trustee Gross had mentioned, the liaison, the truancy liaison, and he mentioned middle school. Is that only the grade level that we have
Yeah,
a truancy
so
liaison?
yeah, middle school, there's a program with Oakland schools where that truancy liaison that comes to the school weekly is only for those grade levels.
Thank
That program is called PASS, Positive Attendance Student Support, PASS.
Is it because middle school is challenging, if that's why, or not enough staff?
But they're at that age right before they go to high school. So the liaisons, we meet with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders to get them prepared for high school. And that's why it's important for that age.
Yeah.
In response to VP Bowman, if I may, we do have those policies and procedures implemented for the district. The unfortunate thing is that on the back end, there's no resolution. We do, as parents, receive text messages, emails. I haven't received a phone call, but definitely a text message and emails to notify us that our child is absent. And it gives us the option of hitting one, or, whatever it is, to say, is this excused by the parent or not? It's just on the back end, from my experience as a parent, it's not removed and there's nothing changed. So we do have that option, but on the back end, something is falling through the cracks.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, trustees? Thank you both. All right, moving down the agenda for regular working agenda, Board of Education, Neola policy updates. VP Bowman.
Good evening. This is the third reading for policy updates. I'll read the background rationale. School board policies serve as a foundation of governance and framework for the district operations, ensuring consistency, legal compliance, and transparency in decision-making. The Neola Policy Service Provider provides comprehensive, up-to-date policy recommendations that are aligned with federal and state, as well as best practices in education governance. You all excuse me, I just realized I think I need glasses or something, so bear with me. As legislation and education standards evolve, it is essential for boards to routinely review and revise its policies to maintain compliance and operational effectiveness. Neola Policy Updates incorporates recent changes in state and federal laws, judicial decisions, and regulatory guidance. Updates on the board's policies according to ensuring that the district remains compliant with current and legal mandates and
reflective of sound educational practices. The policy and committee administration has reviewed the proposed updates and recommended that all proposed updates as listed below be adopted by the Board of Education with noted modifications and optional selections presented to the Board of Education on final form today. It is recommended that the Board of Education, Policy Committee, and Administration, the Board of Education approve the following updates from Neola presented as its final form today. Policy 2210, 2412, 5120, 5460, 7541, 8300. And that's it.
That's it. All right, trustees, any questions regarding the policies? We did discuss these policies thoroughly at our board governance meeting. Are there any more comments in regards to the policy updates?
Yes. Just for the record, policy 4162 was omitted from that. Was omitted from that due to further discussion needed to present that policy for reading.
Okay, thank you. All right. That's the only one we want. You scratch that one. Yep. All right, trustee, can I get a motion for the approval of the Neola policy updates 2210, 2412, 5120, 7541, and 8300?
Support.
It's been moved by trustee Dooley, supported by VP Bowman for the approval of Neola policy updates 2210, 2412, 5120, 7541, and 8300. Any questions?
These policies will start immediately, correct?
Yes.
Upon approval. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Dooley,
Yes.
Trustee Gross.
Yes.
That passes 7-0.
All right, thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is resolution for censure of a board member. This item was placed on the agenda because there has been concerns against trustee Dooley pertinent to section 88(1)A of the Open Meetings Act. Trustee Dooley has the right to have the concerns discussed in closed session. Therefore, trustee Dooley, would you like to have the concerns discussed in closed session or open?
President Hannah, if I may, I would like to make a motion to table this agenda item because table this agenda item.
Yes, I second the motion.
You cannot make a motion until the question is asked. Upon the completion of the question asked and board members have the opportunity to speak, then a motion can be made.
Thank you for the clarity. I'll just go ahead and speak. This document.
I'm sorry,
Trustee Dooley was
Miller,
asked the
this is for
question
trustee
first.
Dooley.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
This item can be discussed in public.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
This item can be discussed in public forum, in a public forum. Because I was elected to represent my constituents with transparency and accountability, we're going to proceed with that.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving
So is it
down.
proper for me to make the motion or no?
Any questions?
Any questions?
I do have a question and a comment. This resolution as written is inaccurate. Also, the date in the last paragraph prior to the Secretary Board of Education signature line, the date that's stated is February the 8th of 2021, okay? And my name is included in this. In 2021, I was not a board member in this district or any district. So how is this policy, how is this resolution, please provide clarity as of presenting this resolution as written when the date at the bottom says February the 8th of 2021. and it mentions a meeting where it says a resolution adopted by the Board of Education at a regular meeting held on February the 8th, 2021. I wasn't present for that, therefore my name should not be included in that. And as written, this document is not valid and it's not accurate.
On the resolution, there is an error in this paragraph on the second page of the resolution.
So how can we
They
move
had
forward
to
with
move
presenting
it.
it when it's not accurate?
We can move forward with the comments and discussion of the concerns that the board trustees have regarding trustee Dooley.
For the record, I request that my name is removed from this original document that's dated February the 8th of 2021, as I was not a sitting board member. Thank you.
Board trustees, your comments for trustee Dooley?
Are we going forth with the resolution?
We can move forward with
Can you read the resolution and
Excuse
then?
me, point of order. Is this not, I have requested documentation from those bringing this is considered surprise at the board table. I've requested documentation documenting all accusations, and I have yet to receive them just now. So you're violating the policy of no surprises at the board table.
No, there's no law that says the concerns has to be written in writing, and the concerns could be either in writing or they can be verbally. And that information was communicated via email. And so trustees that had the concerns, they had an option that either they could have sent written statements as you had asked, or they could have provided their comments verbally. And it appears that trustees, being that none was sent except the one we just received from VP Bowman, has agreed to present their concerns verbally as opposed to in writing. And as it relates to the resolution can still be read and it could be omitted. The date can be changed before it's approved, before it's accepted. We can have the
Point of order.
date changed.
How can a resolution be read as written and submitted to the board when the date is inaccurate and there's an error? So how is it, what parliamentary procedure states that we can read and present a resolution to the board and to the community that is inaccurate, and you can choose unilaterally to just omit the date that's written to the document presented to the board?
The resolution is dated, that's not the date for the resolution, it's for today, but you're right. There is an error with a date entered in the resolution, but the resolution still could be read with the corrected information stated. And at this time, we are asking for trustees to express their concerns for trustee Dooley.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes.
I make a motion. I make a motion that we continue with the resolution indicating or stating that we will be removing trustee Miller's name and date from the resolution as stated, or we get the removal of the name and the date from the resolution, then read the resolution and continue either now or at a special meeting if we can't get it done prior to the end of this meeting. But we can no longer delay this process. So either we're going to continue with the resolution knowing that her name and date will be removed, or we have it removed and bring in a new resolution, which we would have been able to do had we been at the board office, because then we can remove it. We can make a motion, have it removed, then read it, but we're not in a facility to be able to do that. Or we withhold reading the resolution, come back at another date, bring the resolution to order for a vote once the changes are made. We've done this before where we change resolutions the day of the meeting, the time of the meeting, but we're not in a position to do so. We've done that before. Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Trustee Girls, I'm unaware of what has been done in previous meetings prior to my my tenure here on the board. I am uncomfortable as a trustee with inaccurate data that was submitted to the board. It is the responsibility of whomever submitted this document to the Board of Education and included it to be presented to the community and this board that they proofread the document. So if I point out a date of February the 8th of 2021 and I ask that my name is removed, how can we proceed when this document was presented to the board? If that's what the board chooses, let's take it to a vote. But at the end of the day, it's the inconsistency and it's the lack of attention that is prepared for documents that are submitted to this board. That's insulting to me as a board member.
We can move. Trustee Gross, you want to restate your motion
Um,
to have the date changed, to have the
You know
date
what?
corrected?
This is, listen, I want to say something. Listen, I understand the concerns that Trustee Miller has. And these are the things that I said, I understand and respect what Trustee Miller is saying, but these are the things that have been happening now for quite some time that has made this board a board of entertainers and not educators. We have to, at some point in time, realize and understand that we got to be about the business of this district. This conflict between the board, and it has been consistent, at some point in time has to come to an end. It's obvious that it's not going to be that way tonight because of the severity of what it is that we're looking at voting on. I've been here for quite some time, and I've only been through this process once before, but there has been times where something should have happened. I am concerned how this board has been performing the information or words I receive from within the district, as well as outside of the district, of the concerns of how this board has been performing. We realize, or this board member realized, that there is a concern and there's a problem that we have to deal with it and get it, recognize it and deal with it immediately. However, I still respect the fact that we are all trustees, elected official board members. So now, the recommendation that I'm going to make, or the motion that I'm going to make, is that we table this matter until the resolution is completed, truthfully, fully, bring this matter back either at a special meeting or at the next board meeting. But we have to do something to ensure that this board is performing accordingly. And at this time, we are not. We recognize that. I've had a multitude of people within the district who come to me and say, we are afraid to come to the microphone because of the disrespect they receive from this board member that's being censored. They are concerned that they will be retaliated with or to if they were able to say things back to this trustee that's here to be censored. I have spoken with people at this most recent conference in Traverse City that have questioned me on what we're going to do because they've viewed our meetings and they're concerned about this trustee that's being censored, how this trustee is allowed to say the things that she do in public. I have personally been attacked by this trustee behind closed doors. Now, I'm not happy on my response. That I apologize for, but I don't apologize for my response. It's the way I did. So yes, we have to do something because this has been a problem for the last 11 months. So let's rectify this immediately. So I ask that we adjourn this till this matter is taken care of. The papers are right, then we come back and do our due diligence as a board and stop being entertainers and be educators because we're a show now in this city. That's my comments.
Trustee Miller?
Yes, thank you. And I share your concern, Trustee Gross. My concern is the inconsistencies. It's not one individual trustee that has had less than behavior that may be assumed as not what anybody else would accept. How many written requests that have I made in regards of behavior that made me feel Okay,
Point
no,
of-
no, 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 no. I'm going to finish, please and thank you. I have the floor. Thank you very much. How many written requests that I have made, but yet and still at this point, because everybody else is tired or frustrated as it relates to one trustee, how many times have I made a written request to address behaviors that have gone unnoticed, unacknowledged, and the behavior has not changed? So if you're going to censor or implement anybody, it should be consistent. And that is my only concern. This is not the first incident. I have everything in writing. Nobody has ever responded to me, even as recent as this weekend. And President Hanna, you were the first that did not respond. And I sent you several emails, and it's okay. So if you're going to, yeah, it's funny. If you're going to implement, if you're going to be, if you're going to, if I'm not
Julie,
done,
is
if
this
you are
regarding
going
trustee-
to
point of
enforce
privilege,
rules,
trustee
point of
Miller,
order, I
this
have
is
the floor.
regarding-
If you're going to,
Excuse me.
bam your gavel if you want to. Point of order, I have the
me.
floor. That's the first time you did it.
No.
If you're going to enforce something, enforce it for yourself and everybody else.
This meeting is in
Not hit the
recess.
gavel again. Oh, it broke.
Frank, we're going to take a 5-minute recess.
No, I said, no, I didn't, I thought this was a resolution. No, I didn't know. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. See what people are saying? No, 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 I'm apologizing. I didn't know this was yours. I thought you were passing out the resolution for the census. Oh, no, no, so yeah. Yeah. Didn't I say that? Didn't I say that? Well, I don't need a second. I don't think comments are necessary, just vote. The resolution, if you're gonna do that. I said it.
Yeah, if I can.
We can read the resolution and then ask for, you don't have to have any comments, you can ask for a vote. I told you. What was gonna happen.
Oh, yeah, everything's good.
No, we didn't need to. Your comment is in your vote. Because now you're giving away what I want, unless you want. Things from the board trustees. You're giving what you want. This ain't no. Now you, I think you should close the meeting. Adjourn the meeting. Because now, yeah, adjourn the meeting. Listen.
Oh, we have other people on it. We have other.
Somebody got off mic. Your mic is on. My pastor said he can do it. I don't know.
This is our community.
Yeah, we need to know,
These ones we got to deal with.
that's what I'm saying. We strike the date, we strike the rest.
Can you hear me? All right, thank you. Excuse me, everybody. We're going to resume our meeting. The time is now 7:11 p.m. And we're going to continue with the meeting. Yep. Yes. We were able to receive a revised resolution with the corrected date in the body of the last paragraph, and it also has removed trustee Tanisha Miller's name from the resolution. Can I get a motion to accept the revised resolution with the edited date as well as the removal of trustee Miller?
So move.
Support.
It's been moved by trustee Gross, seconded by BP Bowman to approve the resolution for the censoring of trustee Dooley with the corrections made to the correct date and the removal of trustee Tanisha Miller's name from the document. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you. Madam Secretary, once you do roll call, we do have to read the resolution. So I will read the resolution after you have completed roll call.
Trustee,
Is there any more discussions? Are there any more discussions from the board regarding this matter?
I have a comment to make. In regards to this paper that I sent to, just handed to my trustees, each incident has been a factual incident that happened in person, in person of trustee Dooley. Not one of these things, and if you feel that I made a lie on this, this is not a public document, but
You have my permission to read it.
so, incident number one at the administration building.
If you don't mind, would you start from the beginning?
Oh, okay, sure will. Trustee facts, not feelings. Kenyatta Bowman observation. Trustee Dooley. Lack of impulse control, verbal aggression, elevated tones, hostile tone when speaking with others, disruptive behavior. Incident one, Scott Morrell, MASB visit at the administration building with Trustee Gross. Incident two, moving the seat prior to a meeting with Dr. Leverett refusing to move, having a moment with Dr. Hannah. Three, questions and comments towards the security vendor and the consult on a meeting in October of 25, also questioning the staff, PSD staff on 11/3. Number four, texting accusations of the board interfering with emails, discriminating comments towards hearing impaired persons, discriminating comments toward non-heterosexual persons. This was verbal dialogue. The suggestions that I have identify the triggers for aggressive behavior or impulses, develop a healthy coping mechanisms for replacing harmful habits with positive behaviors. Two, lifelong learning is an ongoing, voluntary, and self-motivated pursuit of the knowledge and skills throughout one's life, personal and professional. It involves continuous adapting to, and this is not a one-time event, a continuous process that begins at birth and extends through a person's entire life. Did I miss something? I acknowledge that I may need glasses. I just said that. I did. So if I skip something, I apologize. Tell me where to go back to. So it stems from a personal desire to learn rather than to be mandated or obligated. Be adaptable. It is essential to adapting to new technologies and skills needed for modern life, and practice mindfulness. I don't have any personal ill will towards Jennifer Dooley, but What I will say is people who work for this school district deserve to be treated with decency and respect, not talked to any kind of way or treated as if they're beneath us. Even though we're elected officials, we still serve the community. This is a position of service. We are not to mistreat, demean, or disregard anyone in any way, shape, or form. So I hope that moving forward, we can work collectively together. But the end of the day, we have to be mindful on how we treat people, especially those who are here to serve the children of Pontiac School District. Thank you.
Any other comments? Trustee Dooley?
Can I respond to these?
Yes.
So you say lack of impulse and control. I think that has happened on several occasions with various trustees. Would anyone agree with me? The elevated tone, of course, I certainly will take full responsibility. As I stated, when I get excited or my voice elevates, I'm passionate about educating students. So, of course, my voice will get elevated. It also comes from having over 30 years of being in a classroom where I will elevate and project the authority. So, yes, I'll agree with the tone. Hostile tone when speaking with others, I think that's very subjective. I would like to know, how did you measure that? How did you measure? Because you don't say that I utilized any profanity or made any verbal threats. So I'm just curious as to how you came up with that. And then the disruptive behavior, to date, and even if you go back to my personnel file, I don't have any examples. Can you give me an example of where or when I created disruptive behavior? Number two, okay, that was that one. So then you have Scott Morrell at the MASB board. You said, just in a quick conversation we had, that I hollered at Trustee Gross. I don't see any mention, and if we had to, I'm sure we could probably ask Mr. Morrell, but in attendance was all of the board members, in addition to Dr. Weatherspoon was in the room as well. And I don't see any notation of the profanity that Trustee Gross used, and there's no example. I never once used any profanity to him. That's that. Then you said the moving of a seat. One day I did come into a meeting, and when I found out we did not have actual assigned seats, I did move the seat. I moved my seat to sit next to President Hannah. Why did I do that? What was my rationale? Because we have one employee. We have one employee, the superintendent. And I wanted to see the reaction, because that wasn't normal. That changed. The superintendent did not sit next to the president. So then we talked about, you have questions and comments to security vendor. I'm not exactly sure what that is, because I was not given the opportunity to address it, nor was I provided the opportunity to address what you're saying to a consultant on 10/25, a meeting. Then you said PSD staff on 11/3/25, a meeting. If we were in a court of law, I think that would be deemed as hearsay and not admissible. However, this is not a court of law, but you have to follow the rules and regulations for due process. Number 4 says text board accusations of interference with email. What I said to you was, it has been ongoing technological problems that I've experienced. And I told you that I would reach out. I had went to the phone company. They couldn't do my emails. There were several times I had interacted with Sydney and her staff in technology. And again, I addressed that concern. I said I was going to reach out to because I was having so much problem with that. In addition, no one else could switch my email to make it go Gmail to Gmail. It's on whatever happened to it. So I told in the email that I would definitely reach out to Oakland County Sheriff Department to see if they could help me, because they are more advanced in all of our technological situations. So I don't think that was implicit, or I expressly stated a accusation. Then when you said you have discriminating comments toward hearing impaired persons, I have no clue who that would be, nor if they're hearing impaired, how did they hear me? But that's something else. And then I don't understand this discriminating comment toward a non-heterosexual person. You have given me nothing in writing in the totality of all of this situation. I have asked for definitive accusations to be written down. And again, at this board table, you hand me this. So while President Hanna did mention it is not a rule or a law for surprises at the board table, but I thought that was an understanding that we all would implement. So I certainly, you said identify triggers for aggressive behavior or impulse. I'm still waiting for examples of that aggressive behavior. So if in fact it's deemed aggressive, I can make corrections. But if you're just giving an overall statement about aggressive behaviors as it relates to Trustee Dooley, I would like an example so I could be mindful of the behavior being displayed and rectify it. Developing healthy coping mechanisms and replace harmful habits with positive behavior. Again, I would like to get examples, because if you give me an example of the behavior that you deem aggressive, perhaps I could change it. I could modify it and certainly be aware of what it is that you're making reference to. But this is so ambiguous. This is ambiguous. There's so much ambiguity rests here for me, till if you could just give me some specific examples, it would allow me to rectify the behavior that you state. And then as a lifelong learner, I certainly agree, I'm a lifelong learner. A couple of credits from having my doctoral degree, a couple of masters under my belt, 30 years experience. I read, so certainly I'm a lifelong learner. I was just up in Lansing the other day taking classes regarding how to learn to be a better board member and what's expected of us, the organizational things that we don't have in place yet. And you also state continuous adapting, changing world by using both formal and informal methods. That's again ambiguous. This is not a one-time event, but a continuous process that begins at birth and extends throughout a person's entire life. As that particular quote relates to this instance, it eludes me what I remain in a quandary as to what you were referencing. And then it stems from a personal desire to learn rather than being a mandate or obligation. Be adaptable. It is essential for adapting to new technologies and skills needed in the modern life, and practice mindfulness. It's ironic, but I set my Echo. It started today giving me mindfulness, 5 minutes of mindfulness in the mornings. So I'm in agreement with you but again, I respectfully ask you to submit in writing those aggressive behaviors and impulses that you state Trustee Jennifer Dooley has displayed. Thank you.
Are there any other comments? Trustee Miller.
Thank you. First and foremost, to my colleagues and to the community and public and anyone watching this, I apologize for my tone, but I want to explain why my tone was so inflated. It's due to the frustration that I've experienced individually as a trustee. we have no one at this table, at this dais is perfect. Not any one of us is perfect. My concern and my frustration is built around the inability to talk to each other with dignity and respect, and to be able to resolve things as colleagues rather than finger pointing or alluding to creating narratives. That is my frustration. The inconsistencies in addressing behaviors from any one of us gives a stamp of approval for everybody. That is my frustration. Everybody, it is my recommendation that all of us at this table is able to accept constructive criticism from our colleagues. We're all supposed to be colleagues here. We're supposed to be colleagues. I know several times I've received phone calls. People, I'm gonna put you on the table here, that you have told me where I have not behaved appropriately. Have I ever met you with any aggression? Yes. Well, to a degree. I have not. I was receptive to listening. I have reached out to Trustee Gross in a sense when I have offended him. Did I not, Trustee Gross? I did. And I apologized and I owned what I did, because that's me being a responsible adult and respecting my colleagues. It is my hope that at some point, whether we like each other or not, that is irrelevant. We can get to a point to where that we can govern this district with integrity, ethics, and morals. And things like what we are discussing tonight and the behavior that at some point we've all exhibited tonight, including myself, comes to a cease. But for me, I am a human. I do not like feeling attacked. I do not like being put in a box to where I feel like my concerns, my written requests, my complaints are not acknowledged because I'm not of the collective. That frustrates me. Nevertheless, it is not okay for me to exhibit that level of behavior. But I am a human. I'm a human as I sit at this table. Let's all work together. What is restricting us from working together? And everybody own what they've done. Nobody up here is perfect. I own what I've done. I just sat here and said it. What about you?
Are there any other comments regarding Trustee Dooley? All right, I apologize because I should read the resolution before we vote on the resolution. So I will read the resolution as stated, the corrected resolution that is. Whereas resolution censoring Trustee Jennifer Dooley. Whereas the Board of Education held a meeting on November 3rd, 2025, and whereas district administrators gave a presentation during the meeting to the Board of Education addressing standardized testing goals, and whereas members of this Board of Education believe that Trustee Dooley engaged in demeaning, hostile, and dismissive behavior towards the administrators during their presentation and at the Board of Education meeting. And whereas Board Policy 2111 requires Board of Education members to respect the dignity of district staff members and never to seek to do them harm. And A, I will respect the dignity and property of my fellow workers and will never seek to do them harm. B, I will keep all the promises I make, fulfilling the trust that other people place in me. C, I will complete projects which I have begun. D, I will strive for excellence in all my work and will respect achievement in my fellow workers. Whereas Board Policy 2111 further sets forth the responsibility of each board trustee to work together with others to improve our school district, community, and world.
Whereas members of the Board of Education believe Jennifer Dooley's conduct at the November 3rd, 2025 Board of Education meeting violated Board Policy 2111. And whereas based on the conduct described above, members of the Board of Education believe that Board Member Jennifer Dooley should be censured. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Board Member Jennifer Dooley is hereby censured for engaging in conduct in violation of Board Policy 2111.
Point of order, Madam President. This was brought against trustee Jennifer Dooley. You said board members. To date, I've only heard one board member, trustee Bowman. Can I hear, or at least the others that came to you, you said in private conversation about Jennifer Dooley, can you please, for the record, place those names on the record?
Do we need to vote this first? If there are board members that would like to give their statements of concerns for Jennifer Dooley outside of trustee Gross.
I've made my statement.
So trustee Dooley, this is trustee Davis Smith. I read the resolution and agree with the resolution because we have to protect our teachers and staff just as anyone else, and they have the right not to work in a hostile environment. And that is my reason for approving the resolution.
President Hannah, may I ask, directed through the chair, one instance created a hostile environment for the employees of the school district of the city of Pontiac when there have been multiple times, and we can go back and view many of the recorded meetings, and we also have personnel in the audience that represent PEA that will substantiate my claim. I believe they will when they stand on truth, that there's been multiple times that from the dais that trustee Gross has addressed them. Even the public would be able to, we could do some call-ins, we would get that. So that's what I wanted to just share. I wanted to share that. So thank you, trustee. Thank you, trustee Davis, for sharing with me. You were part of bringing the resolution. Thank you.
Treasurer Terry.
I didn't say I was a part of bringing a resolution. I said I approved the resolution when I saw it because we are also supposed to protect our staff. That's what I said.
Well, the question I just wanted answered, trustee Davis, I posed a question through the chair. Could she acknowledge those persons? Because it reads trustees, that S gives more than one. It makes it from singular, not just being trustee Bowman by herself. It makes it singular, from singular to plural. So I just wanted to know who were the other ones. So at that time, while you're in agreement, if you did not bring this resolution, please clarify that. So I don't have a problem with you being in agreement, but if you were not part of this, for the record, I just wanted for the record to state who brought these accusations against trustee Dooley. I'm going to commend trustee Bowman for having the heart and she put what she wanted in words, so I can respect her for that. So all the rest of it, the verbal, I need something concrete. So again, trustee Davis, I appreciate you sharing that you agree, but you were not part of bringing this resolution.
Madam Chair, I call for the vote.
Secretary Davis Smith.
Trustee Miller. Trustee
We're
Miller.
voting.
Say it again. Okay, no.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Dooley.
A resounding no.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
No.
Oh, okay. Trustee Gross.
Yes.
President Hannah.
Yes.
That passes 5-2.
Okay, thank you very much.
Point of order, President Hannah, can you please tell the audience and those in viewing audience what the censor means?
The censoring is a public reprimand for unacceptable behavior by board members. It does not exclude her from anything, but it is a way for the board to publicly state that this type of behavior is unacceptable, and we are not in support of it or in agree with the behavior or actions of a trustee. And that's what was just pointed out today based off of the meeting that took place on November the 3rd, 2025.
Point of order, please. I encourage each and every one of you to go back and view that meeting on the 3rd, and then I would like for you to return with public comments if you agree or disagree with this resolution. Thank you so much.
Next on the agenda is finance items. Dr. Leverett.
Thank you, Dr. Hannah. At this time, we'll turn it over to Catherine, our financial consultant. She will be presenting the financial packet from July through August, her financial presentation, July through October, and this is a review of our monthly financial reports of July through October. Catherine.
Thank you, Dr. Leverett. I think there's a PowerPoint that we're going to put up for everyone to look at. So as promised at the last meeting, we are now on track in order to get the financials delivered to you at the second meeting of every month for the month prior. So we are now up to date through October 31st, and you do have the full packet in front of you. And then I'm just going to go over the slides here to kind of go through the various items. So if we go to the second slide there. Oh, sorry. If you just want to slip back up to the very first one. No, one more. Yeah, I keep going. Okay. Oh, yep. So the next one. So this is basically our cash position in the general fund at October 31st. So if we look at the very last column there, we can see we're at $49 million. When we last visited in August 31st, we were at $24 million. The influx of cash is because of our property taxes that we collect for the summer taxes that come through in those months of September and October. And that would really be the influx of what's occurred. And that is why why our cash position has increased $25 million for over a 2-month period. Then if we go to the next slide, this is, so we issue tax anticipation notes in order to even flow out during the summertime, our cash flow so that we can sustain. What we've been really diligent about doing, and as you can see, the years there, we have October right now, the orange bar right there, before a tan and after a tan. We're exactly in the same position, and we've paid off that $4.5 million. So we're getting to a point with our fund balance that maybe we look at that we don't have to issue tax anticipation notes and not pay those interest rates. But we have to look at that through this next year. But we are in a much better position than you would have saw on years prior. So we're moving in the right direction on that. And then the next graph. So this is our general fund budget to actual. So this is our operational fund. So this is where we kind of pay for all of the students, all of our school activities, everything. So if we look, we see that our local, right there, our first line, And what I did is a comparative to the prior year. So this is our annual budget. The current budget's annual. So we're at 85% of our current budget, and we were at 82% last year. And again, that is because our our property taxes come in the summer months. The state right there is at 3% versus 40 last year. So that looks a little alarming, but it's not, because of the fact that we had those electric vehicle buses, and we had about $9 million that came in last year for those electrical vehicles. They're in that line item. We are slated for the next 15 fleet to have 6.4 coming in, but that hasn't come in yet. So that's kind of why we're looking a little behind, but we'll stay in line as we see next month. Federal, we're at 28% of our annual budget versus last year only at 8%. And what that says to us as a team is that we are doing a lot better at getting our expenditures from grant perspective in on time to be reimbursed timely. In that grant department, they're doing a really good job at that, and that's what that shows. And then our other financing, we're about on the same place that we were last year. And again, that is going to be ISD, food services, other grants. So we are really on budget with that as we move forward through the year. Let's see. So if we look at our salaries and benefits, and you look at percentage of budget compared to last year we were a little higher. We were at 34 and 25% versus this year. We had some payouts last year. Let's see, what did we have? Yeah, we had some payroll costs out to retroactive benefits that were due to employees, and that's why last year's was a little bit higher than this year. Oh, thank you. And then purchase services. So we're on track there. We're a little bit below budget. Supplies, same thing. We're below budget as well in supplies. And I think when we look at debt service, we can see that we're 80%. And again, I mentioned that last meeting. Basically, we paid our tax anticipation notes off early. So we had $4.5 million that we received for the summer months that we paid off early this year. So that is why we're at that percentage of budget. And then what we have left is just the remaining debt. Capital outlay, we're at a very small percentage for current year to date in general fund. And then we're still on track in other in order to stay on track. So to date, we're at 20% of our budget, where last year we would have been at 31% of our budget. So basically what that's telling us is we are staying true to our budget and even under what we would have spent last year. So that's a good sign. If we go to the next graph, this is really just for your information, kind of what I went through, so that you can look at all those pieces of your revenue and your expenditures and understand what's funneling into there, so that we understand where those dollars are coming from and where they might be impacted with the state funding and with the federal funding as we move forward. So if we look at the next graph, this really is just a really good picture of basically where our dollars come from. So year to date, I don't know why my voice is. So year to date, you can see where a majority of dollars are coming from, right? So we can see that we have grants right now of 35%, state aid, property taxes is our biggest amount that comes in, our largest amount, because we are a district that really is we don't get per student funding. We get our property taxes, and we have a lot of non-homestead taxes that are at the 18 mills. So we end up getting that money in. So you can see that our amount of dollars that come in is projected here year to date. This on the right-hand side is just October year to date, and that's just a funding mechanism that we know that our property taxes are coming in a little sooner because of summer taxes. So that just gives us a good picture of that. And then if we go to the next, we look at our expenditures in the buckets. This is kind of functional expenses, and where our dollars are spent at. So you see again that our majority, the purple right there, budget year to date, 20,093. If you were to go back to that last slide, the only thing that's not in there is the TAN payoff. Oh, not that one, but the only thing that's not in that 20 million year to date is the 4.5 million payoff of the TAN. So we can see that the majority of our dollars from a functional expense is going to instruction. And so that's where it should be going. And this is a really good measure of how well you're managing your dollars and they're going towards the students. And October is this 1 month picture, just kind of showing you we're staying on track in that same place that we need to be. In food service, so food service, if you were to take a look at this year-to-date actual, we would look as though we were in a deficit of $229,000. Really, it's just because of the fact that the federal funding didn't come in on time because of everything that was happening, and the state aid didn't come in on time. So we'll continue to monitor this through the year to make sure that we're in the right place. So this is just a moment in time, but we should be able to stay on budget with what we know now and the gap stop that the government's put in for federal. But we were delayed in our funding on that. So then the sinking fund. So our sinking fund, we all know, is placed in service in order to help us with our school renovations, repair and maintenance, and all the necessary costs that need to be completed for the school. We can see if we look at the beginning of last year, we would have been, because I have a rolling 12 months here, we would have been in a $16 million level. We're down to an $8.7 million level at the end of this year. But that's because of the fact that we had all of those school renovations, the high school, the middle school, the buses. We've had all these things that we've been doing throughout the summer that have depleted those funds. But what we have in place is that we're going to go forward with the next renovations for the elementary schools. And we'll see that on the next page and how that's going to be funded. So this next page, you can see that we have $7 million in a budget. That's going to be for everything that we have in place to move forward with. I think that we also, when you look at the last slide, we had about $8.4 million. We always keep in reserve about $1 million to $1.2 million for repairs and maintenance at the schools because things can happen. And so this is what we're going to do this next year with the current budget in place. And as we know, the sinking fund bonds have been approved for the next 5 years, which will be $3 million a year to continue with our projects in place and allow us not to borrow and debt and not to pay interest rates. Okay, so this is our bond series 3 that we just ended up going forward with. So you can see that last year we had 2.7 million because the majority of our projects are being completed in the high school and the middle school. And then our new bond series 3, you can see comes in July there, 18.357 million. And then you can see where we're at right now with $19 million in there. I do want to, on the next slide, I'm going to show you the budget to actual. And I did misspeak at the last meeting, and I wanted to speak to this. So the interest that we're making on those dollars currently is $121,959. That was a question at the last meeting that I wanted to make sure that I was able to articulate in this slide. And then as we move forward, we currently have a $10 million budget with everything that's in place to do. And Marvin has the book and what we're going to do. That's going to be furniture and fixtures and different things as we go through it. But right now it's just the $10 million budget. And as we move forward with these projects, we'll see how that pans out with those different areas. And the last side is our total cash position. So as of now, we have $80.4 million, $49 million in the general fund. And then we have $30,890,000 in the other funds. The bond debt, again, we have 15.8 and 2.6 in checking. So this is really our landscape of where our dollars are at to move forward with each of the projects we have slated in each fund. To date, we haven't had any emergency purchases. And then we are going to give you the first budget amendment on December 15th. And we're working through that right now with the changes that we know are in place. And we will continue at our next meeting on December 15th to have a full financial statement again for you through November 30th. So we are on track to make sure you have that every month.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Trustees, any questions?
Yep. Yes, please, President Hannah.
Trustee Miller?
Thank you. Thank you for the very thorough and accurate report. I have a magnitude of questions, but this is not the time and the place to ask those. I was made aware over the weekend that I should independently seek explanation from others besides my colleagues. So if you will allow, if you have office hours or any availability, just to sit down and answer my questions just one time. I'm not going to belabor you. I just want some clarity, though I have a background in viewing and understanding multi-million-dollar budget. The educational budget is something I'm not familiar with. And now that I'm aware that I need to not ask my colleagues, as indicated, not you, the treasurer, I will ask you, if you will, please just provide me some assistance moving forward. But thank you. This budget was very thorough, very inclusive, and I appreciate it. Okay. So if you would, I would like to just coordinate with you. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Any other questions, trustees? Yes, Trustee Gross.
However, it's something that we talked about, having a board finance study session that would allow us to not be in the public, be able to have the opportunity to answer questions based on the information that's provided. I've been asking for this. It was told that we're going to set up sometimes, but we need to have budget board study sessions. It gives every board member the opportunity to be able to ask questions, decipher questions, and go over what we need to talk about and make sure we're all understanding what's being done.
Okay.
Any other questions, trustees?
Thank you, Trustee Gross. I thought that I was the only one that remembered that we discussed that. So thank you for reiterating that, Trustee Gross. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, General Counsel, Human Resource Items, Dr. Leverett.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Hannah. This is for discussion and action. It is new. This is a candidate recommendation for hire. Ms. Angela Parkman as Director of Special Services. Background rationale is the recommendation of administration that Mrs. Angela Parkman be appointed as the Director of Special Services. The proposed 25-26 contract would secure Ms. Parker's services at the rate of $117.60.92, Director Step 5 of the PESA Director Salary Table. The funding source is 110. It is the recommendation that the Board of Education discuss and move to action the contract of Mrs. Angela Parkman as Director of Special Services effective November 18, 2025 through June 30th, 2026 at the rate of $117,060.92. Ms. Angela Parker is here with us this evening along with Dr. Jameson, who will be retiring in January of 2026. What questions might you have? Her resume and credentials are attached.
Trustees, any questions?
Is this a grant-funded position? Or how much of the salary is grant-funded in general, out of our general fund?
Good evening. Yes, it is a grant-funded position, and is funded entirely by IDEA upon my retirement.
Any other questions?
How long do we still have you for? What's the transition period?
That's why we're anxious for the vote tonight. Until January 23rd. And we would very much like for the board approval, so we would have transition time for Ms. Parkman to join us so that we could make the transition successful. We all know that it's a heavy-duty job, and it's not one that someone can step in the very next day, nor the very next week, nor the very next month. So the support is very much needed at this time.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Dr. Leverett, next one.
Thank you. This is for discussion and action. This is Black Cow Enterprises with Ms. Ronisha Mullen, Communications and Marketing Services Contract. It is the recommendation of administration that the board approve the contract of Black Cow Enterprises effective November 18, 2025 through June 30th, 2026 to provide communication and marketing services to the Pontiac School District. The district will compensate Black Cow Enterprises $24,000 billed monthly at $3,000 per month for communications and marketing consulting services as detailed in the attached contract. This fee covers all standard operational costs, excluding mileage and any travel-related expenses incurred under this agreement. Any additional outside costs will require prior approval before being incurred. A monthly statement of incurred costs supported by receipts will accompany each invoice. Mileage will be reimbursed at the standard federal government rates. The funding source is attached. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approve the agreement between the Pontiac School District and Black Cow Enterprises. Ms. Ronisha Mullen, who's with us this evening to provide the district services from November 18, 2025 through June 30th, 2025 in an amount of $24,000 billed at $3,000 per month plus outside costs that will be addressed and or submitted for approval prior to incurring costs.
Thank you, Dr. Leverett. Any questions, trustees?
Yes, what is referenced as an outside cost and is there a cap?
Outside costs would be printing supplies, anything technology related that she would need to get, and that cost would be capped at $5,000.
Is that $5,000 per month or just one $5,000?
One $5,000.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, trustees? All right, hearing none. Can I get a motion for the approval of candidate recommendation for hire Director of Special Education?
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved by Trustee Gross, supported by VP Bowman for the approval of candidate recommendation for hire Director of Special Education. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman,
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Dooley,
Can we clarify what we're voting on? I didn't hear it.
the approval of the candidate of the director. of-
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Gross,
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
that passes 7-0.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for the approval of communications and marketing service
Madam
contract?
Chair, she's here if you. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yes.
I didn't want to skip over.
Yes.
She's just looking right
Yes,
at me.
sorry.
Greetings, everyone. I am
Good evening,
Angela
good evening.
Parkman, apparently your new Director of Special Education. Just very briefly, they have my resume, but you all have never seen or heard of me before. I've been in special education this is my 31st year. So as an educator of students with different abilities, I don't like to say disabilities, but different abilities. And as a parent of 3 children with different abilities, I am very passionate about making sure that children with different abilities are able to thrive in their learning environment. So I look forward to collaborating with all of the teachers, administrators, the community, the board, all stakeholders, to see that our babies thrive in their learning environment. And my drive, one thing I'm always thinking of whenever I'm doing what I do is asking the question, is it good enough for a child that I love? So just know that I lead with love.
All right.
Thank you.
Excuse me, what, I can't remember what district you're transferring from.
Winans Academy, and then
Say it again.
Winans Academy.
And that's located.
Prior to that, I've been at Harper Woods, and I spent 25 years in Detroit Public Schools.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, Ms. Parkman. Okay. Now moving down, I'm sorry. Approval of the Communications and Marketing Services Contract. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved by VP Bowman and supported by Trustee Gross for the approval of the Communications and Marketing Service Contract. Any questions? Roll call, please.
VP Bowman.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Dooley. Trustee Dooley.
No.
Okay. Trustee Gross.
Yes.
President Hannah.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
You said me? Ms. Love? Yes.
And Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
That passes 6-1.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Leverett, wanna?
Ms. Mullins, would you come down, please? And as she comes, I am very excited to have Ms. Mullins rejoin the district because she has worked in this capacity for us in the past. So we're very happy that she's able to join us again. Ms. Mullins, a Pontiac native.
I am. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for approving this contract. I'm excited to, as Dr. Leverett said, be back and continue this work for the district. I got to work with the district back in 2015 when we were trying to get that sinking fund passed for the first time. So happy to be back and continue to, support storytelling and narrative around the district. A little background about me. I spent 10 years as a news reporter in Detroit and Ohio. I most recently worked for Ford Motor Company, supporting communications
Can you
there.
speak up, please?
Yep. I most recently supported communications for Ford Motor Company. I worked for DTE Energy and Consumers Energy and spent 10 years as a newspaper reporter. So I'm excited to be back here. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks.
All right. Moving down the agenda, curriculum and instruction, Dr. Leverett.
Yes, thank you. This is for discussion and action. At this time, I'll turn it over to Dr. Devison for our school fundraisers.
Good evening to the Board of Directors and to our community. I am presenting to you all our fundraisers for all of the schools. This is the background rationale. Curriculum and instruction will present school fundraisers for each building. You have all of the forms. It is my recommendation it is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approves the 25-26 school fundraisers for each building.
Hey, trustees, any questions regarding the fundraisers? Yes, Treasurer Terry.
I just had one question. I know you kind of listed out the fundraiser contact information as well. I'm assuming a lot of this is going to be done through the individual schools, most
Yes.
likely the principals.
Yes.
I guess my question is, how often will we get to see statements?
I would have to ask the finance department, but I do believe they are monthly statements and that's under their school activity account. So the school activity account is on their monthly. The lady, she left, but that's the school activity account and it counts for the amount that they receive for fundraisers. And that's on the statement for each building.
Dr. Devison, is this?
I'm
sorry.
I
thought you were finished.
I guess I would like to see a couple of those statements eventually, though, because I want to make sure that we're I thought it was an individual.
So each individual school has
School
their
has
own
their own
budget, and
budget.
each budget has a school activity account, which would account for the fundraisers that the incoming funds that they receive.
Okay, okay.
Trustee Dooley?
Are the funds earmarked for any specific activity?
So normally when you have a fundraiser, you would specifically say what the fundraiser is for and what you're utilizing the funds for.
So overall, this is just a campaign to generate monies, and then you'll identify the need.
So normally you identify the need before having the fundraiser. So an example, when I was the building administrator at Kennedy School, we would say the fundraiser was for the Kennedy Prom. So you would put that out there before time, not after the fact.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, moving down to action. Can I get a motion for the approval of the 2025-2026 school fundraisers?
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved by trustee Gross and supported by VP Bowman for the approval of the 2025-2026 school fundraisers. Any questions? Roll call, please.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Dooley? Trustee Dooley?
Yes.
Trustee Gross?
Yes.
President Hannah?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Treasurer Terry?
Yes.
VP Bowman?
Yes.
That passes 7-0.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, VP Bowman, are there any communications, petitions, and delegations?
Yes, there are. Your request to address the Pontiac Board of Education for 3 minutes is granted with your commitment that all comments will be delivered with courtesy and civility. Failure to do so will result in forfeiture of your allotted time. First up, we have Melvin Riley. You know, this young man and Principal Rush was here. They wanted to speak about the Washington DC trip. So, there's that. Next is, okay, Cynthia Rush. They were together. Yeah. What's the name? Sharon Murray. Sharon, my apologies, Sharon Murray.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I have recently retired and have been away from the city and didn't know what was going on, so I started at the Board of Education today. And there's a couple of rumors I've been hearing.
Can you use the mic?
I heard, I'm sorry, that you guys were supposed to be selling Pontiac High. Now, like I said, I'm here because I don't like hearsay.
You good, just put it down.
Okay. Another question is, I heard that our board is like maybe one of the top, maybe the top in the top 3, 5 or so as far as pay, and that our children's academic level is like 3rd from the bottom. And if that's the case, and then I get here and I see that the teachers are asking, they don't have a contract, and you guys got a raise. Now this behooves me because I don't know. That's why I'm here. I like to ask questions in person. And being a former trustee, not here, where I worked, when you guys do jobs, how many applications do you take, and who all, because when I heard, I'm sorry, I don't know any of you but Mr. Gross, okay? When I heard this lady here asked what the 5,000 was for, when I was on the trustee board, everything was laid out, and the papers that, she wouldn't have had that question because everything would have been laid out, and we all would have to approve it. Now, how you guys do it, I don't know. I would like some clarity on that. And, you know, I like the point, or I'm not gonna say I like, because we should all be able to work together, to agree to disagree. And it looks like on this corner, these people might be in the disagreement corner. And this corner, just looking and watching people's attitude, I think I seen two people that didn't show any kind of facial expression, and the other ones that it wasn't so good. But you know what, guys, we all got to work together in order to get this. You should be able to disagree and get things done. And I have two nephews that went through this whole damn system that graduated that could not read. You know, that means we had to go to work after this. You guys, if you keep selling off, or we keep selling off as a city, we need to open up our eyes so that we can maintain and not keep giving away what we should have and be growing on. Our school system should be better than this.
Ms.
And
Murray.
okay, this is my last
That's it.
thing.
No,
At the
it's time.
senior citizen thing, they're asking for volunteers for tutoring because they don't have enough, and not the, you know, the one of them is at a church, and then the other one is at, anyway.
Okay.
We need help, y'all,
Thank you.
and we got to work together to get it.
Sheikah Dukes. Shaka, my apologies, Shaka Dukes.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Shaka Dukes. I'm representing Embrace Sports. We're a nonprofit 501c3 that has a mission of encouraging sports participation and enabling sports equity for underprivileged communities. So we've been around for some time. Our main objective is coming into the schools and being able to expose the K-5 students to physical activities, which in turns helps with their academic development. So why Pontiac? You know, because Pontiac is an incredible place, has a lot of history. Many people have gone to the next level as far as their careers in education, and it's happened through sports. But Pontiac has limited enrichment programs for K-5 students. Families need after-school support, and students need safe, structured activities. And there is a desire. In general, I've spoken with a few people for there to be a pipeline for middle school and high school athletics. So what we do, we specialize in blending academics, SEL, mentorship, and athletics. We currently serve over 100, well, actually 1,000 students across Metro Detroit and Michigan. So, you know, we are verified through the state. We show significant increases also through our summer program for ELA proficiency and math proficiency. So we had 6th grade ELA growth, which was a 25.1% increase, and our math increase was a 21.5 increase. So what we have, 98% of our families have reported improved safety, and 100% have reported more physical activities. So what I'm proposing is to have Embrace Sports service the K-5 after-school programs, middle schools, and then create district-wide sports leagues for our students here. How it works, the district would be able to provide Embrace Sports access to the buildings. We also service the schools. So we provide the coaches, We provide our staff, which are certified coaches, safe sports, and
Mr. Dukes,
yes.
sorry to interrupt you, but can we invite you to come to one of our board governance meetings? And that way you can have more time to share more information about this program?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Paul Sandy. Then we have Candace Ridley. I don't know if that's Candace Ridley. And Mackenzie Zerovich.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Paul Sandy. I'm a social studies teacher here at ITA, as well as the vice president of the PEA Teachers Union. I come to you today to voice the frustrations and the hopes of Pontiac teachers and school workers. We have all gone 140 days and counting with no working contract. And we are asking for, demanding for, that we be paid fairly for our work. Teachers' working conditions are student learning conditions. We cannot separate the two. In order to retain and recruit people to work in the district, they have to be compensated fairly. So I have a few questions. Why does the Pontiac School District get more money than any other school district in Oakland County per student, but yet teachers in Pontiac make less money than 26 of 28 other districts if teachers stay here for a 30-year career? The starting salary may be decent in Pontiac, but why are there 21 steps to get to the top of the pay scale while most other districts have between 12 to 15? What are we doing to keep teachers and other school workers here in Pontiac past 2 years of work when the terms of their bonus expire? Why are there still some high school classes with more than 40 students and elementary classes with more than 30 students? How can we expect to achieve academic improvement and educational outcomes in that situation? In addition, the district received an extra $2.4 million from the state of Michigan in the latest budget, not to mention the $6 million that was revealed to not be in last year's budget. How will that money be used to pay teachers and other school workers what we are worth? We understand you have a district to run, but it's unacceptable to pay tens of thousands of dollars to consultants, lawyers, admin raises, new admin positions, while the people who do the work on the ground struggle to get by. Many of us work second jobs, third jobs, just to pay the bills. The money is there. There is a 22% fund balance in the school district of Pontiac that is far more than any district that I've heard of. Dearborn, 16%, Hamtramck, 15%, Waterford, 12%. I think the state demands at least 5%. We're at 22%. We need to be using that money to pay teachers, parapros, secretaries, and all school workers what we are worth. This is going to increase educational outcomes. This is going to keep teachers and school workers here in the school district of Pontiac. It's what our students and staff deserve. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Candace Ridley, president of the PEA, a teacher at Pontiac Middle School. So it's great to see our students get honored tonight. However, that's not why I'm here right now. I care deeply about the future of our students and our schools, so I have some questions that demand answers. Why are there high school classes with more than 40 students? Why are there elementary classes packed with more than 30? And yet somehow we're expected to improve student outcomes and raise test scores. How is this achievable when every single piece of research shows that smaller class sizes improve student outcomes? You can't have it both ways. You can't pack our classrooms to the breaking point and then blame teachers when students can't achieve, when students will struggle. Why is it that for 7 out of the past 8 years, our educators had to start the school year without a contract? Do you know what message that sends? It tells our teachers that they are not valued. It tells them that their dedication, their expertise, their passion for our children, none of that matters enough to prioritize. So let me put this in perspective. Pontiac School District receives more money per student than any other district in Oakland County. More money than any other district, and yet teachers in Pontiac make less money over the course of 30 years than 26 out of 28 other districts in this county. Where is that money going? The financial audit showed a $6 million surplus. There's an additional $2 million in funding from the state of Michigan this year. And still our educators are playing Russian roulette with their bills, praying their heat doesn't get shut off, hoping the water stays on, wondering if the lights will be on this month. And this is unacceptable. What is the plan to retain teachers for the long term? Not just a year or two before they burn out and leave. Right now, we train them up and we ship them out to wealthier districts, taking their valuable expertise and experience with them. Our students lose mentors. Our schools lose stability. And we're left starting over again and again. And finally, what is this district's position on the Oakland County Enhancement Millage? This millage would provide funding for any educational purpose: teaching, academic support, attracting and retaining quality staff, maintaining programs that prepare students for life after high school. So why wouldn't we support this? Our students deserve better, our educators deserve better, our community deserves answers. The money is there, the need is clear, the solution is right in front of us. So I'm asking you, what are you going to do about it? Thank you.
Good evening. I've not spoken before. I am a Pontiac Middle School teacher. I watched the last closing address from the last meeting, and if you guys were really negotiating, your lawyer wouldn't neglect negotiating wages and working conditions. $6 million in extra funds, $2.4 million additional from the state meant for wages for teachers and educators. You refuse to use them. Yet you can give a 13% to top admin, exceeding the inflation average. You have enough to give each educator a 10K raise with those funds combined. You wonder why you have 32 resignations? Pontiac gets the most money, but pay is one of the lowest in the Tri-County for public schools. You call us a family at events, yet family would not allow its members to struggle if they could help it. I have a second job to pay bills, and my new 11-month daughter just wants to spend time with her dad. And I'm told she calls my name. Stop calling us a family. It's insulting to the families. You treat us like crap, and you do not care about anyone but yourselves. Otherwise, you would tell that lawyer to negotiate or do it yourself. You mentioned no one has complained until now. Of course they have. I just think you haven't been listening. And the economy is in the dump, but you could fix it for your family. This is the due diligence that must get done. I would recommend to the community, Pontiac student families, to do a recall vote on any board members who have been serving for a long time so we can get some real change.
Hey, all right. Moving down to board comments and announcements. Start with Trustee Dooley.
Good evening. I want to begin to the board members, express my sincere respect for the work we try to do. And on behalf of our students and community, perhaps my comments during November 3rd meeting were driven by a deep passion and urgent desire to see meaningful progress for our children that we serve. Our students cannot afford delays or repeated missteps. Do-overs are not an option when their futures are at stake. If my tone or words were perceived as demeaning or disrespectful, I truly apologize. That was never my intention. My goal was and will continue to be to emphasize the seriousness of our responsibility and the need for immediate measurable results from those entrusted with educating our children. Let us move forward together, united in our commitment to excellence and accountability for the sake of every child in the district. Again, this presentation of our financial status is in question. I implore, beg, that this board moves forward with an investigative forensic audit to be performed in order that we align our resources with the main goal of executing a strategic plan of action that will support academic achievement and its sustainability. A published report came out that identified the Pontiac School District as being one of the lowest paying districts that support student learning. However, we are top heavy as being one of the leading districts paying central administrators, while we remain a subpar district. Trustee Kevin Gross stated and admitted that there has not been a forensic audit in over 13 years. As both Trustee Miller and Trustee Gross have stated, there has to be an opportunity for us to have a budget study for sessions to occur. Repeatedly, I remind this board that our teachers are working without a contract and that we failed to rectify the situation with our bus drivers by making them whole. I'm hopeful that we will work in concert to move this district forward. And I'd like to publicly congratulate the newly mayor-elect in the person of Mike McGinnis and all councilmen as we began to work together, we strive to work together to build bridges and move this district forward. To all of you, have a great evening. Thank you for tuning in. And I am still your representative, your trustee that was elected with 7,617 votes. Have a good night.
Trustee Miller.
Thank you, President Hannah. In the moment of vulnerability, we continue to fail our kids. We keep doing the same thing over and over and complain about the results. It is time to take corrective action so we don't have a continuation of divisiveness similar to what has just occurred this evening. The administration has the benefit of a 1 year on-the-job training, and we still don't have children that can show progress towards minimum literacy. We give raises with no measurable successful outcomes for our students. We don't support and show value to those who have been loyal to this district and our students. We have not made a priority to hire those that have a track record of performing at a higher level of performance. This board needs immediate outside impartial intervention to assist in guiding us in the decision-making as we try to rectify some of the inadequacies and inconsistencies that are apparent in the way this district is currently being run. Words are cheap. Actions require follow-through. I welcome the opportunity to discuss the previous sinking fund money, including projects that were completed, in addition to any newly projects and how they will be initiated from start to finish with completion dates. Board members asking questions is not accusatory unless to those that are attempting to create a narrative. At this point, it is imperative for our students, for anyone who cares about this district, that we get ourselves together, this board. Stop pointing fingers at each other. Stop unilaterally making decisions for those that are not a part of the collective. Be consistent to everyone that produces behavior that is unbecoming of an elected official for the school district of the city of Pontiac. Selective enforcement of policies can no longer be tolerated for this district. Look where it has gotten us here. I've been here 11 months. I got 5 years and 1 month to go. What have I achieved in 11 months here in this district as a trustee? I know what I achieved as a parent. What have I achieved as a trustee? I wish I had a long list to read, but unfortunately I don't. It's not due to lack of effort. It's not because I have not tried and made every attempt to work collectively. It's to the restraints and the barriers that are placed before me. Stop it, please. And it's not from everyone. It's not from everyone. I want to be very clear. It's not. But collectively, it is hindering our ability to govern effectively and efficiently. And if you don't recognize that, I don't know how you sleep well at night, because it sure keeps me up at night, because I want what's best for our children, no matter what you think about me, say about me, or how you feel about me. Check my record. I'm here for these kids. I will continue to be. I don't care about personal feelings or relationships. That is irrelevant. Our duty and responsibility is to be here for our children, to set them up for a level of success so that when they leave our district, they can come back and say, I am a product of Pontiac School District, not leave our district and go and get into the system, because when they leave and they attempt to go to college and not be a product of their environment, they have to come back because they can't be successful because we didn't set them up, because at max, they're not reading at a proficient level. I know y'all don't like what I'm saying, and it's okay. I can accept that. I don't pride myself on being the favorite. But until others are ready to have hard conversations and uncomfortable conversations, we will continue to fail our students. Long dissertations at the end of board meetings is not going to move this district forward. It's having conversations, making a plan, producing action to do what's best for our students. I welcome any opportunity of anyone who want to work with me to make sure our students are set up for success. Thank you.
Trustee Gross?
Good evening. What a difficult evening, but we got through it. And I want to talk about accountability. How important it is for each and every one of us who are part of this district is to be held accountable for what it is that we're supposed to do. Everyone talks how important it is about students, but based on lack of some of the accountability for throughout this district, students are secondary, third, fourth, or fifth. We have to clearly understand that without our children, we wouldn't be sitting on this diocese. There will be nobody in this audience because how important students are. It is our job to not only, our responsibility as a board to ensure that we hold our one employee accountable for what it is that needs to be done, but it's her job to ensure that all is being held accountable in this district that is dealing with our students. Throughout my tenure for years, I've seen a lot of inconsistencies. However, I have seen progress. I don't care how minute it is, it's still progress. But we have to truly look within ourselves and truly say to ourselves and be truthful. Are we really doing the best we can for students? Or are we doing what's best for ourselves? We have to take a long, hard look at each other. That's this board, this administration, our principals, our teachers, our maintenance workers, those who serve our children food. What are we really here for? This district has only a little bit over 4,000 students with a capacity of 10,000. Based on some of the antics or performances that we see here at this diocese, parents are looking at us and saying, hey, do I want to send my kid there or do I want to keep my kid there? Sometimes we overlook the fact that it's not about us. It's about the students. Some things at this table have been said, and my hopes are that we can move forward. Agreeing to disagree, but throughout this entire process, respect one another on this side of the table as well as that. Until we're able to get our adult situations in order, our kids will continue to falter, fail, or lose. I'm gonna take a real hard look at myself as it pertains to what I'm here to do. I'll weigh my pros and cons and realize or determine how important it is. But I think as a whole, this board, we have to make some tough choices, decisions to be able to ensure that our children are getting the best. Because for quite some time now, truthfully, now I'm just one board member saying to myself, you others may believe different, we have not been given our best. We talk about it, but we're not about it. And my grandmother used to tell me a long time ago, she used to give me this saying, and I think about it all the time. She says, Kevy, for your actions speak louder than your words. And I would ask her, Grandma, what does that mean? And I was young. What you do says a lot more about you than what you say you're going to do. And right now, our actions are saying we're doing for ourselves and not thinking about children. And I don't have a problem if you disagree with me. I'm not here to debate that. That's just my opinion. We got some hard decisions to make as a board, as administration, as teachers, as principals, because our kids deserve the best. And we don't have many. We don't have many. Bless you all, and I'll see you at the next meeting.
Thank you. Secretary David Smith?
I just wanted to congratulate the students who received the awards tonight. Also, Mr. Marvin Phillips for his MSBO certification. And welcome, Ms. Parkerman. For me, it's like what Ms. Tanya Dixon said earlier. It takes everybody. It takes our community. It took the community to help me to get through school, to make sure my mom worked nights. So my neighbor mom made sure that me and my brothers got to school and to other sporting events and things like that. We have to start. It's going to take all of us in order for us to be successful. Our children have trauma, as Trustee Gross and others have said, that we can't imagine. And they're coming to school. They're coming to school as if nothing has happened, and we don't know what our kids are enduring. But then our teachers have to be the ones to step in that gap. So we have to make sure our teachers are good, our staff is good, our children are good, as well as our parents, to make sure that our kids get a quality education. And I'm just I'm congratulating the new city council and things like that. Like Trustee Dooley said earlier, that we all can come together, and because I know they have a tutoring program as well, so we can get. The young lady came up today and spoke about other places have tutoring programs. So if we all can come together to help our children with tutoring and things of that nature, we'll be a better district if we all work together instead of working in silos and bickering with one another as adults. And like Trustee Gross said, once the adult issues, once we can get over adult issues, we can start working with the real thing that we're here is for our children. And I've been here, what's this, my 6th year, and I still haven't gotten to education. And so I'm just praying that this year we all can work as a whole, the library, the city, and the school district as one, and be on one accord for our children and our community. Have a happy holiday, everybody, and good night.
Thank you very much. Treasurer Terry.
All right, good evening. First off, I do want to say congratulations again to the students for the success on the proficiency or advanced state testing. Also, congratulations to Marvin Phillips on his MSBO certification recognition. I also want to say congratulations to our new Director of Special Services and also our Communication and Marketing Service contract. It's been an interesting meeting, but just like I want to say everything else in life, we're going to have our growing pains. Everyone's going to go through them. The thing is, are we going to learn from these growing pains and come out of that? So kind of like the rising phoenix. Are we going to continue to push forward? Or are we going to let this hinder us and hold this district back? There's a lot of rumors out there. There's a lot of conversations out there. I myself, because I sit on the board, I know what's facts. I know what's fiction. There's going to be a lot of fiction out there because a lot of people just don't have the facts. And we can't necessarily run with that information. So I recommend everyone do their due diligence, study, find out the information from the real source, if need be, before making judgment. Are we a perfect board? No, we're not. Are there any perfect boards out there? No, there is not. Our main goal here should be focused on the students. And as long as we continue to focus on adult issues, then we're going to continue to be stagnant. I prefer not to let that happen with the Pontiac School District. I'd rather see us move forward, but the hurdle here is going to be coming together and seeing what our next steps are. Can we work together to move past this, or are we going to stay stagnant and choose sides? Are we going to be individuals? Are we not going to accept help? Are we going to create our own silos? Where are we going? And there's talk out there, as everybody has been pretty much watching our board meetings online. They have been entertaining. They have been entertaining. But is that entertainment moving us forward? And the question becomes, we can't do this as a board by ourselves. We need everyone in the community. We need everyone with staff, our administration, down to the bus drivers, our food service, administration. We need everyone, parents, partners in the community. It's going to take a village. It's going to take a village. And I know we kind of went round and round on a lot of things. Some things have gotten emotional. Some things have gotten personal. I just know from my point of view, I need to block a lot of that out and stay focused on what the main task is here. There are going to be some emotions involved, but over the time, I don't think it requires us to go the wrong direction. As I like to say, don't go down that rabbit hole. We're all adults. We should be acting like adults. We all want the best for these students. Let's act like we want the best for these students. There's not a perfect world. There's not a perfect person. I myself am not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. It happens. But to continue to make the same mistake and continue to make the same apologies over and over, are you really changing? Are you really learning? Are you making a difference? So I want to say for everyone that's listening and everyone that's out there, continue to keep this district in prayer. There's going to be some more changes coming up. There's going to be some more challenges coming as well. This isn't going to be the last rodeo. But I just ask that we all stick together. Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer Terry. VP Bowman?
Good excuse me, good evening, everyone. This has definitely been a interesting meeting, but I wanted to say to all of my trustees, and I'll start with Trustee Dooley, I appreciate you and you add value to this board. One moment in time doesn't define where we go in the future. That was just a moment in time. I respect you. I appreciate the value that you bring. And I hope that as we continue to move forward, we'll just progress as a cohesive collective board. Trustee Miller, thank you for the value that you bring to this board because you are not you're not a native Pontiacian, but you have been here for at least 13 years. Thank you for your willingness to want to serve because this isn't an easy place to be in. Trustee Gross, you are the longest standing member who sits on this dais. You bring a lot of value and a lot of wisdom, and thank you for that. Trustee Davis Smith, the quiet one, but you are steady, you're consistent, and you're always here, and you're appreciated. Treasurer Terry, I appreciate you and the wit that you bring to the comments that you sometimes have in outside boardroom conversations. Dr. Hannah, thank you for being consistent. Thank you for being steady. Thank you for being patient. Dr. Leverett, I know you are not a trustee, but you are our teammate. And thank you for your willingness to stand in the gap for our teachers, for our staff, all of our staff. I appreciate you. It may not mean much because I can't give you any money personally, but I appreciate the hard work that you put in showing up every single day. Those who clean the toilets, those who pick up trash, you appreciate it. Schools don't run with people sitting up at this dais. It runs with the people who are in the buildings every single day. You are appreciated and your work and your value does not go unnoticed. What I will say is this, being a product of Pontiac, being a lifelong resident of Pontiac, this is not an easy place to navigate. And as I look out and I see my two former trustees, and yes, we have had differences in the past, but as I stated, I don't think one moment in time should define how we see each other forever. We must work together because our children, they're looking at us. They are looking at us, how we conduct ourselves, how we speak to one another, how we show up. Everything that we do, someone is watching. My responsibility isn't to shame or bash anybody for how they show up. That's not my responsibility. Each person shows up the best they can in their own right. I just hope that we continue to move forward because we have places to go. We have things to do. We have children to educate. So now that I hope after today, we're past all of the bickering and moments that are not, stop it. Again, this community is important to me. Every time I go somewhere in the world and I say Pontiac, Michigan, depending on where I am or depending on who's been here or who's traveled in this place, sometimes I get a face of horror and terror like, oh my God. And then oftentimes I get a smile and I'm greeted with, I know that place. That is the response that I want to get when I'm out in the world, that smile that says, I know that place. So as we continue to work to be progressive, positive, and influential adults who service our community, let's continue to work together and be proud of where we are. We know we have far to go, but growth is growth, and this district has been making progress. Let's just continue to move forward. Thank you very much and good night.
Thank you very much. All right. Good evening, and thank you for staying with us. First of all, before I read through all of my comments, I want to offer an apology to our community on behalf of the actions and what you saw tonight at this board meeting. Yes, it was very tense, as we predicted it would be because of the matter of items on the agenda. But that's still no reason for us to have reacted or behaved in the way that we did. So to all of the parents, to all of the administration, to all of the community members, as well as to our students as grown adults, I apologize on behalf of this board for the actions and the behavior that you saw tonight. So I also want to say thank you, Pontiac, for voting to renew our sinking fund. We could not have done that, of course, without you. So the fact that you supported us in that way, thank you so much for that. The financial report that you saw tonight, it shows that we are definitely in a better place financially than we were even a year ago. There's been a lot of uncertainty as it relates to the finances with the state budget. And so just to have the audit completed, to have a steady Pronexus here with us, to be able to show us what consistently things will look like and moving forward, we're definitely in a better place so that we can talk about the changes and things that we need to consider financially. I want to say congratulations to those 23 students from Pontiac Middle School for their proficiency in their test scores, as well as to Mr. Marvin Phillips for his commitment to continuous learning. I would like to also acknowledge that there will be tomorrow at Pontiac High School a Thanksgiving parent engagement event. It will be held at 5:30 p.m. in the gym. And they have it set up or expecting at least 40 families to come. So that's tomorrow. Also, I want to make everyone aware that Kensington Church is offering their annual Thanksgiving bags to school families, and that will be on Saturday, November 22nd at 9:30 a.m. And so they have bags will be allocated for our families. And then also Whitman is having their Thanksgiving dinner on November the 25th at Whitman School, and that starts at 11 a.m. So these are services and support that our school and community is offering for our families, and hopefully everybody can take advantage of that. I would like to also welcome our new employees. Ms. Mullins, thank you. I'm sorry that you saw or had to see, but that's just, as trustee said, that's just the passion. And also Ms. Parkman, welcome her to our special ed department. We definitely appreciate you two ladies and look forward to the success that you will bring into our school district. I would like to also congratulate our mayor-elect, Mike McGinnis, as well as our newly elected city council members to their new positions. We look forward to working with you here as a district and just making sure that we, as a whole, we bridge that gap and we show that there is no divisiveness between the city and the school district, but how, if we work together, how we can best serve our city, our community, our students. The meeting tonight, I listened to everything everybody said, and I appreciate the reflection that trustees have had just in their comments. This wasn't new. We've been having these challenges as a board for 11 months now as to why we've reached out to MASB to help us to work together more effectively so that we can all hear and learn the same thing, so that we all can be more proficient and hold ourselves accountable. And so we will continue to do that. But I will say, as the president of this board, there's a lot of weight that comes with this position. And so much so that it's assumed that I initiate a lot of the things that take place, particularly the item that we had to place on the agenda tonight. So
I'm happy that I can have relationship with trustees so that they can come and share things with me that they are concerned about. And I respect them that I don't have to say who said what, because we are all a team. All we have to address it as a whole. But I will say that it has not been that I, as an individual trustee, has been the initiator of anything negative or to perpetuate any problems within this board. Actually, it's contrary to that. I have been the one, just as I thank you, Trustee Vice President Bowman, for saying I've been consistent. I have been patient. I have tried to compose myself every time to, no matter what is being said or done, I still have to carry and move with integrity and dignity, because I not only represent this board, but I do represent this community. I represent my family, and I'm here to advocate and represent our students. So I just want to say everything that has been said, and I hope that we are able to look in the mirror and check ourselves, because the actions that were shown today, this wasn't the first time. It has been ongoing as to why it was put on the agenda, because of the concerns that trustees have said we have to do something. And it wasn't just because they felt that it was time for us to do something. We heard you as a community say it too. Everybody, those that watch the meetings, whether you're heard it from someone, you see the same things that we see. So as adults, we do have to hold ourselves accountable. We do have to do better, because whether somebody here on this board has to point it out or somebody in the community has to point it out, we know ourselves, and we should know that what we're doing, whether it's acceptable or not, because if it was a student behaving or being disrespectful to anybody, it would not be tolerated, and it should not be tolerated from adults. So again, whatever the personal feelings are, we've already talked about that. They're going to be what they're going to be, but we're here as trustees to do a job that we were elected to do, and that's what we have to stand on. And so I really do hope that everybody keep in mind everything that they said today about how and what we need to do moving forward, because we do. Because we're only, at the end of the day, hurting our students, and we're making a bad impression for this school district, for any families that may be considering coming to this district, and those that may be here currently. So it is up to us as the leaders of this district to hold ourselves accountable and to do a better job in how we represent ourselves, whether not just here across this dais, but when we're in community and anywhere else. So I'm appreciative of all the comments, everything that was said. But one of the things I do want to share with you, because this was brought up regarding the 31AA. There has been a lot of discussion regarding this 31AA funding for the State of Michigan School Aid Act for the 2025-2026. And it's talking about what districts should do in regards to whether or not they should opt in to receive 31AA funds, which are being made available to districts across the state as part of the state school aid for the 25-26 academic year. The Pontiac School District has not decided whether it will opt in to receive this funding. This district is currently evaluating the potential implications and overall impact that participating may have on our operations moving forward. This district has until November 30th, 2025 to decide whether to opt in for the funding or not. In total, the state has allocated nearly $321 million for districts statewide for safety and mental health funding, a portion of which will also be available through competitive grants. One of the most significant conditions is the requirement to waive the attorney-client privilege in the event of a mass casualty incident, which is a broad and undefined term under the statute. In addition, any investigation into a mass casualty event could be conducted by a governor-designated person or entity with access to confidential student and personnel district records. We also understand that there are several school districts and intermediate school districts across the state that have pursued legal actions challenging the language that is contained in Section 31AA. Litigation is currently pending in the state and federal courts, and the outcomes may affect the obligations placed on districts that choose to opt in. As you can expect, the outcome of these lawsuits may directly impact the requirements for our district should we decide to opt in for this funding. While we appreciate and recognize the state legislators' decision to fund these important topics for not only our district, but districts all across the state, we do have a responsibility to evaluate how these statutory conditions could impact our district legally, operationally, and financially should anything like this occur. So we wanted to be transparent to all of our partners, our families, our faculty, our staff about thinking beyond the decision of just accepting money because it's available. We await the potential outcome of these lawsuits that are now being heard in courts across the state. So that is where we are at this time as it relates to 31AA. Again, I want to say thank you all for your patience. Thank you for continuing to show up. And we appreciate all that you do for our district.
Point of
Can I get a-
information. I just want to extend, so you will know, if you check my voting record, it is definitely nothing personal. Had your position been one of Grant, I would have voted yes. But anything that has to do with a budget and our continuous spending, check my record, I vote against it. So I just, from me to you, I want you to know, I look forward to working with you and learning you, but I don't want you to leave here thinking that anything was directed to you personally. It was just a matter of where I stand as I continue to request a forensic audit. Thank you.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Support.
Who moved? It's been moved by Trustee Dooley and supported by Treasurer Terry to adjourn the meeting. Any questions? Roll call.
Trustee Dooley. Trustee Dooley.
Yes.
Trustee Dooley.
Yes.
Trustee Gross.
Yes.
President Hannah.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
VP Bowman.
Yes.
And I'm voting yes. That passes 7-0. It's 9:03.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.